Winter has arrived in Colorado, and that means for some, more times outdoors in the cold. I'm with Dr. Fred Endorf from the Department of Surgery at CU Anschutz, and today we're discussing frostbite, what it feels like, what it looks like, and how to tell if you need to get treatment. Dr. Endorf, what early signs should people look out for right before frostbite becomes serious?
So frostbite is when the tissue in your body, typically fingers, toes, ears, things like that, actually gets cold enough to form ice crystals in the tissue, and those ice crystals essentially poke through the cells and destroy the cells. And most dramatically, it can injure the lining of the blood vessels in the fingers, toes, ears, etc. And then that forms blood clots, and those blood clots can actually work their way further up and cause further what we call ischemia, lack of blood flow or lack of oxygen to the ends of your fingers and toes, and that's when that severe frostbite can become bad enough that it causes the need for amputations and long-term disability. The things to look for is if you start having pain and or numbness in the fingers or toes, if you look at them and they're actually pale, then those are signs that you want to get indoors and get warmed up as quickly as possible. If you do get inside and get warmed up and you start to see blisters form on your fingers or toes, then that's what we call second degree frostbite or even worse. So that you should seek medical attention.
Is that urgent care, emergency room, primary care?
Yeah, I would typically go to urgent care, emergency room, and then if they agree that it's frostbite that rises to the level of needing our care, they'll be in contact with us.
If someone suspects they have severe frostbite or a serious form of frostbite, let's say with blisters, what should they do immediately?
Rewarming, you want to use warm water, ideally at 104 degrees Fahrenheit, not hotter than that, because then you can also cause burns. Don't use dry heat like heating pads and stuff that can make things worse, and don't rub your hands with anything that can cause friction that can make the tissue damage worse. So ideally warm water. A lot of times that can be done, in the emergency department. So wouldn't necessarily delay seeking care to do that if you don't have access to warm water or whatever. Go to the emergency room. But if you do have that, you can rewarm and then seek medical care.
What does treatment involve once someone is confirmed to have frostbite?
So first we try to assess what degree of frostbite is. There's kind of a first degree that we call frost nip, like you kind of alluded to. Many people that have been out in the mountains skiing or whatever might have that. You come back in and your fingers are kind of pale, but they turn pink, it hurts. That's kind of first degree or frost nip. That does not need any further care necessarily. If you get second degree frostbite, where it's kind of clear blisters, that is typically local wound care. If you start seeing things like mottling, blisters with blood in them, or if the extremities are still pale despite rewarming, there's a number of signs that we look at that might push that into third degree or severe frostbite, and then that becomes an emergency, and we need to get people to get thrombolytic therapy or clot busting therapy, just like you would for a stroke, really. And that we know that the faster you can get to that treatment, the more of the tissue we can salvage and the higher chance of preventing an amputation down the road. So any of those signs should be a sign to get in the emergency room and get that process moving as quickly as possible.
What are your top tips for staying warm and frostbite free this winter?
Yeah, so main thing I think for that kind of weather is layered clothing. If you can, do multiple layers. If it's really cold, mittens are better than gloves for protecting the fingers. If you know that your gloves, mittens, or socks, etc. are wet, then go immediately indoors and get dry clothing on. If it's really cold, just take frequent breaks. Don't wait until your fingers or toes hurt. Try and preemptively go inside, take breaks, warm up. And then on really cold days, if you're doing outdoors activities, don't push beyond your limits, or don't push to areas where you could potentially get lost when it's really cold. We see people come in that have, gotten lost or gotten stuck, and that can become a real problem when it's really cold.
I really appreciate your time and answering my questions about what to look out for this winter to avoid frostbite. And I know I'll be using some of those warm tips, and we'll talk to you next time.
Great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.